American people really hear a story of a person from Moscow and his plight, that might, I'm not sure, but that might work, or might feel some people high up actually very ashamed of themselves, because it's not a matter of, at the moment, not a matter of politics or wide issues. It's just a matter of health. It's a matter of visa for treatment, and that's all.
People say, though, and there seems to be a good deal of feeling about it, that this is very much a matter of politics, and that people like yourself, although your situation is different because of the illness involved, but the people within the refusenik community are hostages to the current political standoff, and that's why they're still here.
Of course, part of their attitude is that. But I'm sure that if I were an average person who would want to go for treatment, I would get the same refusal. It's not for average people, and the more so, it's not for refuseniks. Oh, well, you know how refuseniks are being treated here. They don't have any right for anything. So I don't know even how to explain it. Maybe it's part because their obstinate refusal is part of the fact that I am a refusenik and that my husband is Kitrosskaya-Meiman. But that doesn't make it sound easier or better, or doesn't make them look more human. Does it?
Is it, you were saying earlier, is it also a sign of increasing desperation on your part?
Surely. I just don't know what else I can do, because there were so many requests from the West, there were so many people talking to our authorities about my case, there has been such a lot of publicity. I heard that Simone Weil, in a meeting last week in Paris, was talking about me. We were on French television last year, and the whole story was there. And before the French program began, the day before they were scheduled to show it, they got a letter from a Soviet ambassador in Paris, who wrote to them not to show it because what they're going to show is not true, and the people who participate in it are criminals. And eventually this letter was read before they started showing the film. What can I say? That we are criminals because we're fighting for civil rights, or for the right to survive, or for the right to live? Is it criminal in any way? I have no words, no more words.
Then we'll stop there. Because you're doing exactly what you should now, which is just listen to me, except don't hold your hand up by your face, because you weren't
No, I want to ask you first.
Sure.
Is there anything you want to talk me to that I missed saying that you think I should say?
No, I'd like to keep it strictly to what we have talked about, which is your particular story and the way that you relate it to the general refusenik situation and to the broader political problem as we see it as well. But I just wanted to explain, you understand that we have done this and we can't in any way guarantee to what use it will be put, that we, just as the French TV may have done, we may well use it in that way as well. However, those final decisions are depend on what other news there is or how the story comes out. But it is, with some irony, it is a provision of the Helsinki Accords that we be allowed to do that. So we're quite happy to do that.
What I plan actually is, what we thought is that it will be given a lot of publicity before it goes on. With all the people who are interested in us taking part.
I see,
then when it goes on, it will get more publicity then.
Well,
so if it is to work, if to do it, then it should be done with some success.
If it goes on the CBS Evening News, which is where I'm trying to put it, it'll get a lot of publicity. Because millions of people will see it, and they tend to react to it.
We've been trying to reach our authorities here with zero result each time. My husband wrote to Andropov. We're told to go and apply as if we have never been refuseniks again. All of a sudden, we received a letter from the Ministry of Health saying that I must go to the Old Union Cancer Center for treatment.
This is the first he'd heard of it.
She said, "You know the reason?" I said, "Maybe it's because many people ask the Minister of Health to let me go." She said, "Maybe." So I go there every month. Actually, I live by months. Every fourth Friday. You know how she had to fight cancer only, while we have to fight anything but cancer. That for her, for your country probably, cancer is more a psychosocial problem. I mean, it's part of. While here, it's only a medical problem and nothing else. And it's a very hard and very harsh medical problem.
I wanted to get back to this question of your current sense of desperation about what you have to do. You've been refuseniks for years. You and your husband, you have run up against a stone wall from the authorities in terms of trying to get out. Yet you still have something of a comfortable lifestyle by Moscow terms here. Are you not afraid that by getting yourself into this kind of publicity now that you jeopardize even what you do have here now?
I might jeopardize what we have now, but we both don't care. We have so little time, our health is so poor that it doesn't matter really. We've come to the limit when we feel that it doesn't really matter whether we have our apartment and have our life in Moscow, or being in and out of hospital every half a year is too much of an experience to care about comfort and convenience. The only thing we care about is really to try and to survive.
Your case is a kind of extreme example of the situation that many people find themselves in here. Not just refuseniks, but people in the Helsinki Watch group, on the general issue of human rights here. We're approaching the anniversary of the Helsinki Accord, by which much of the judgment is made here as to what the situation is. The Soviet authorities continue to maintain that they are the ones who are in fact upholding the accord, whereas in the